I was broke, so I went to a hospital to donate sperm. In just 2 years, I donated over 690 times, almost once a day. After 2 years, I made a total of $24,000. I kept that whole sperm donation thing hidden. I was wrong. 20 years later, I got sued. Back then, out of those 600 donations, 533 resulted in successful pregnancies. That meant I was the biological father of more than 500 children. Out of them, 142 kids wanted to know who their real father was. They filed a joint lawsuit, asking the court to reveal my identity. Overnight, I became the father of more than 500 kids. Luckily, I had signed confidentiality agreements every single time I donated. As long as I stayed anonymous, no one could expose me. My lawyer handed me an envelope. Inside were the profiles of those 102 kids. I rejected it immediately. The moment I got home, I threw the files into the trash, but the curiosity wouldn't leave me alone. In the end, I randomly picked one file. I opened it. I froze. That son was a professional soccer star. That had been my dream since I was a kid. He actually lived it for me. I bought a ticket. I watched him show off his skills, dribbling past defenders. He scored the winning goal. I was more excited than anyone in the stadium. That was when I realized how strong my genes were. Still riding that excitement, I opened another file. This son worked as a barista. I walked into the cafe and ordered a coffee. Talking to him for the first time made me nervous. He looked impatient. After listening to him, I learned that even though he was a barista, he dreamed of becoming an actor. That day, he had an audition, but his boss forced him to work overtime. If he skipped work and failed the audition, he would lose his job and end up on the street. I sat back in my car feeling crushed. Not all my kids were living good lives. At that moment, I wanted to do something for him. I went back into the cafe. I tossed him my car keys. I told him to go to the audition. I stayed behind and worked his shift. He felt confused. He didn't understand why a stranger would help him, but somehow he trusted him. Right after he left, his boss showed up. Because he walked out, he lost his job. I felt deeply guilty. I thought I'd made things worse. I waited outside, not knowing how to face him. Then he came back with good news. He passed the audition. His acting career had officially begun. That sudden joy pulled me in completely. I decided to meet all my kids as a stranger. If they were doing well, I would stay far away. If they were struggling, I would help however I could. My kids were everywhere. Lifeguards, nail technicians, tour guides, models, street singers. Thanks to my genes, they were all good looking. I started protecting them quietly. When my model daughter dressed provocatively, I followed her. I yelled at anyone with bad intentions. When my lifeguard son never got a chance to save anyone, I pretended to drown just to make it look useful. When my singer son had no crowd, I became his biggest fan. I hyped the atmosphere, got people to tip him more. To boost my nail tech daughter's business, I pretended to be gay and got a fancy manicure. When my tour guide son had no customers, I showed up. The same attraction, again and again, all just to boost his popularity. He got scared. He thought this weird old guy was obsessed with him. One time, I pretended to be a delivery guy and brought pizza to one daughter. I found her shaking after taking too much. I rushed her to the hospital in time. She survived, but she was about to be sent to rehab. She begged me to pretend to be her father and sign the papers. That way, she wouldn't be sent away. She said she had just started, wasn't addicted yet. She promised to work on time and never touch it again. I hesitated, but I chose to believe her. The next morning, I waited outside her workplace. She didn't show up for a long time. I started to regret it. Then I saw her arrive, right on time. I smiled with relief. From then on, whenever I had time, I would randomly pick one child to check on, to see if they needed help. But this time, when I opened one profile, my smile froze.